Hello everybody, this is Vincent, aka BitB, and welcome out to another BitB stream. Thanks for coming out. It is Saturday, and we are going to be playing a little bit more Phoenix Wright. So, before we get started here, first off, I want to apologize that we didn't stream on Twitch just last Wednesday. Apparently, Twitch was having some kind of a very strange seizure, and was not really, the servers were working, but I couldn't actually change the title of the webs, of my stream page, and I tend to like to do that before I stream anything. And also, I don't know, the website entirely was just down and being all shitty that one day. So I didn't stream on there. I streamed exclusively on Mixer for that one day. I guess if you were really interested in watching me play Terraria, it's going to be uploaded to the main channel at some point. But anywho's, we're going to be playing a little bit more Phoenix Wright. Now, last time that we played, we finished up the chapter involved with, just like the Meggy Bird thing. And we are going to be diving into the fourth one, which I thought was the last chapter. Mario's, he's sort of hinting at the idea that maybe I'm wrong. Hey, whatever. If I'm wrong, hey, I would love to be wrong. I'd love to be surprised. But who the hell knows? We're going to have to just see. I don't know. So, yes. 2, 3. And episode 4, Turnabout to Beginnings. No idea what that means. I'm diving right into it. Episode 4, okay. The girl, let her go. Ooh. Nice shit bridge. Shut up. Come closer, and I kill her. What? Sorry, but you're not gonna get the chance. What is what the holy shit? River corpses! What happened? And who the heck was that? Oh, hello, Phoenix. I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. What a crap computer. Named Terry Falls. Charge kidnapping murder. Sentence death penalty. Oh. I hope he wasn't innocent. After escaping, Falls met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, recaptured on Eagle Mountain about 8 hours after his escape. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. Oi. Oh, flashback. 6 years earlier, Mia Fey, first trial. I guess now we get to hear about that first trial, huh? Oh, I should mention, before we get too far into this, I don't know. Just random aside, I'm in pain. I'm going to mention that right off the bat here. For the last 3 days, I've been having this really, you know when you stretch a certain way and then you notice you pinch something, and you pinch something in such a way that you did something bad to your back or your legs, or you can tell there's oh great, guess I'm gonna feel that later. That happened with me. I've got this really annoying. I don't know. This has happened before where I've stretched. I was just stretching my back, with my arms raised above my head, and then all of a sudden I felt this pinch nerve in between my shoulder blades. And the second it happened, I was like, "Oh, good. I guess that means that's going to hurt later on." Good. And yeah, sure enough, I was absolutely right. And it's starting to die down now. But my back has been sort of in tense mode for the last 2 days straight, so now all of the muscles in my back are just sore. It's functionable, but I can, especially since I'm sitting and streaming. Whatever. I don't use my muscles when I play video games, so I don't even know why I mentioned that. I'm just going to say that right off the bat, just being I have been tired and hurting for the last 3 days. Maybe am I asking for a medal? Who knows? You sure I feel enough okay to stream? I'm fine. I'm good. So, February 16th, 9:24 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. Ooh. Remember from case 1, we learned that something in this case... Oh, yeah. No, I remember case 1. Case 1, it specified that she had the one really, really bad case, and it's kind of weird that Mia would come back and try and do another one. So I remember that. And trust me when I say, in the event I actually was in some kind of serious pain, or if I was really, really sick that I couldn't stream, I would not be streaming. Straight up. I've taken days and I have rescheduled them because of that. So anyways, let's dive in, huh? I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm gonna die. I never should have accepted this case. Hello, dead man. Eek! Good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia.
I didn't do nothing. I swear, I didn't kill nobody.
Terry Falls, my first client. Sentenced to death 5 years ago, and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? I'm sorry.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere.
There. But, Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago.
Sorry, I told a little lie.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody.
Sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right?
I'm
really, really sorry.
They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. I swear, I didn't kill her. I could never do that.
2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. The police believe that Terry Falls did it. Terry Falls. I just got it, and there were waterfalls and shit. I think that's the joke. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman?
Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped.
So that much is true. He did meet with the victim.
But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true.
I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. Oh, hey, handsome. Oh, I think I understand what's happening here. You're not gonna figure out the truth just by staring at the guy. Why are you here? I came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big scary lion's den. I thought maybe you'd like something to play with. Where's Mr. Grossberg? That old man's probably still in bed. I believe he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando. I didn't say... So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me? No. You got it all wrong. Today, you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine an escaped death row convict for a first client. Yeah, thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though. Relax, I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. Really? However, unlike a certain somebody, who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. Genius? Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time. And we know from case 1 that Diego Armando died. Dahlia poisoned his coffee, remember? I've got this weird suspicion that he didn't die. That's what I'm guessing. That solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. and that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. Okay, either that, or, it just occurred to me that perhaps it's not the same guy, but it might be like his brother or something. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Godot right now. I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. Yeah, we will see. February 16th, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Oh, God. All right, so I'm trying to remember... I gave this guy a specific voice. Didn't I just make him Canadian or something? Court is now in session for the trial at Terry Falls. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Oh, hello, dude. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. I understand the lawyers from both sides are... Alright, I'm trying to remember exactly... Jesus, I'm trying to remember my Canadian accent. I'm just trying to think of, like, the moose from, Brother Bear. Those guys. I understand the lawyers of both sides are newcomers, eh? Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So you're the new prosecutor everyone's talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age? At 20, Your Honor. I guess our little kitten hasn't earned himself much of a reputation yet, huh? Come on, Mia. You can't lose. Not to someone younger than you. Young people ruined in a trial. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from a police wagon. Is that correct? Precisely. But the defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day that the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered. So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death? You got it, kitten. Jesus. I'm sorry. Like, Canadian... I'm trying to remember just the syllables. It's like, well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement, eh? Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Falls, was sentenced to death in this very courtroom. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. Shit. A truly horrible crime. I remember it well. Jesus. I'm getting so many... Alright. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted. Correct. But in the end, what finally decided the case was... a certain witness's testimony. A witness's testimony? The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throw his young victim into the river. Yes. I see some of the mannerisms of the good old Manfred. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. So Miss Hawthorne's testimony was the only one that put him away. And that policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be exactly the victim. The same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Aha, I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago. With only one thing on his mind, to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. The truth is becoming clear to me now. Yes. It's quite obvious that the defendant is guilty. Stop it! That's not your place to judge, Judge.
Objection!
Exactly. But wait a minute! That's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor. Watch yourself, Miss Fey. I'm not sure I care for your word choice or your tone of voice. Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders. Why, you You're even younger than me, you hypocrite! And now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness. I called the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation of this case. Who might that be? Holy shit! A younger, Mr. Gumshoes. Witness, state your name and occupation. Gumshoe! Dick Gumshoe! I'm the homicide detective in charge of this case, sir. I finally got promoted to the detective division half a year ago. I don't believe anyone asked you about that. Hey, ma'am! You got any idea how much work it takes? What is it? You're really gorgeous. Excuse me? No, seriously. My heart, it's aching for you. You horn dog. Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt. So quick that something other than your heart will ache. Good. Okay, I got it. Now, detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir, right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran on the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. That much is already stated in the autopsy report, eh? Of course, we'd like to hear more detail about the incident itself. Yes, sir, I got you. Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. This is the sketch of the Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. And the river that runs under there is Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met there on top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured at the police checkpoint, and he was trying to make his getaway, sir. I see. Dusky Bridge map added to the court record. Cool. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there. Your Honor, you simpleton. If you would listen to the testimony we have prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm not sure I like your wagging your finger at me as though I were some horse. Yeah, okay. I was right with the whole Canadian accent shit. Let's see. 3 and 4 are your favorite Ace Attorney cases. It's good so far. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Oh, yes, sir. Here we go, Mia. Hang on. Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake, and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. Is that what you're drinking right now? Tea? Boy, how times change. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminals stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at the police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. So wait, do you have a body? Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Naturally. Now, would the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination? Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination coming right up. Hey, settle down there, kid. If you keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee. Okay, it is coffee, thank God. I'm not trembling. It's just cold in here. The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, all right, especially for a beginner. I don't need you to worry about me. I mean, the witness, everyone's a beginner in here. Got me there. But maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you got, kitten. It's okay, Mia. Stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all last night watching? I hope that's not all the things you know about court proceedings. Terry threw his captive into the river 5 years ago. Valerie still has her corpses. Okay. Alright. Man. I don't know, this is a very muddled case to start out with. Alright, so let us press things. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Hold it! This unknown person, you have no idea who it might be, right? Sorry, but I'm afraid I do. What? The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls. What? The defendant? The defendant called her? Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls. A note? Yeah, a top-secret memo that she has left in a desk. Very well. Is it, like, phone records or some shit? According to this note, it seems the one who called her to the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Falls. Yeah. Whose bright idea was it to keep that note from me? Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer. It's that detective's fault. He's the one that said unknown person. Hey, now, don't make that face at me. I just said it that way because the prosecutor told me to. Was that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky. Again, everyone's a horn dog in this goddamn court. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Fallsmere. A bridge up in the mountains. But why meet there? Because it is a very important place to the defendant, that's why. What do you mean by that? If you remember, 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto a bridge, and it was there that he killed his hostage. And the place where all of this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Falls. Returning to the scene of the crime. How nostalgic. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. Was the body of the victim discovered right away? Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great! We even got him to say, "Don't move, we've got you surrounded!" Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that? The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly? Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right? That's what happened, then she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Falls, but she left a note on her desk about it. If only I had noticed it earlier, maybe she'd still be alive. I wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. Diego is a heartthrob. I'd say a decent one. I don't know. Everyone in this courtroom is a heartthrob and sexy, and it just sounds it. Whatever the hell. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make it get away. Mr. Falls had a car then? Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right? What? You mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves. Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything? This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. Oof. Oh, hi, dead person. Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there. Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable. No, it doesn't. Even the judge has sort of a sleek appeal to him. Square jaw. The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct?
Yeah?
For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back. We're talking about a woman here.
You can tell from this photo, but... Oh, you can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back, nice and firm.
The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car?
Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange. Do you? Anyway.
I don't know. Let me take a look at that. I'm gonna press. I don't know why. I'm just going to. What did the defendant have to say about this photo?
What he always says, ma'am. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing. That's all he said.
Nothing. I wouldn't say he did nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car.
That's just what he always says, Your Honor. And then he always says... Sorry, I told a little lie. Or something like that.
Well, in any case, it seems he was caught and arrested.
Precisely. Mr. Falls was arrested at the police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain.
That certainly is some impressive police work.
Well, no, actually, it was way too close for comfort. We set up that checkpoint just after 5 o'clock p.m. We figured that Mr. Falls might just try to run.
What do you mean it was too close for comfort?
The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30 p.m. And it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint.
That was kind of close. Any later and Mr. Falls could have slipped right by.
Listen up, kitten. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony.
A trap?
Walk into it carelessly, and it'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh?
No, it's not!
Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you'd better get some more information. And if you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for contradictions afterwards.
The ever-famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those. Victim's note. Let me check this. 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Wear white scarf for identification. Interesting.
Objection!
Witness! Well, what is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye? I'm sorry. I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that. You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Faye, I'm not sure I like this.
Say there, little kitten. I want a piece of my coffee candy.
Candy?
Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee.
Come on, Mia. Shake it off. You're a lawyer. Detective!
Yes, ma'am?
This photo. You said that there was nothing peculiar about it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim.
The note?
It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like. Thus, this special request.
I
have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo.
Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am.
And you stopped there? You should have looked for it! Oh, shit. First controversy. The caller told her to wear to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this?
Oh. I see the defense is a little lacking.
What? The scarf you are searching so desperately for, is it this one, perchance?
Where did you find that, sir?
On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation.
Why didn't you tell me?
I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It's the safest place I know, and it's also illegal, you fuckhead.
That hotshot sure has a flair for the dramatic.
It's not exactly white as the caller requested, but as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for. It looks like it spent some time in the mud. Not surprising. It was drizzling on the mountain that day.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, he was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time.
The court will accept the scarf into evidence. Great. I'm sure there's something specific about that thing, too. Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is all right with you, isn't it, Miss Fay?
Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck.
Very good. Now, if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively and with hard evidence that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet on that bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Everything is moving at his whim. Don't forget, kid, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius.
A genius, huh? Right. Events on Dusky Bridge. Let us see. Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off. I'm sure I'll find a contradiction in that somewhere. Actually, no, it's pretty much guaranteed, considering this is Phoenix Wright. But whatever. Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that the bridge is very high up. It's about 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say that it was a well-intentioned third party. Aha! A political witness. Wait, a potential witness, not a political witness. What the hell? So why isn't that person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify. The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify. I'm not sure how I feel about that. You're not sure about anything, asshole. Why is he not sure about things? Is that supposed to be a Canadian thing? No, Canadians are more just like, you know, like the stereotype is Canadians are really, really nice. That's what it is. I don't know where this not sure business is happening. So as you can see, Terry Falls had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge. The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty. Stop it! Not again. That's not fair. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. What do you mean, The not sure is just him, just his thing outside of being Canadian. Oh, yeah. Everybody's got a little, a little quirk. Isn't that right, Gumshoe? Pal? Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. Press. Who is this eyewitness? She's a college student. A female college student? That's right. Meaning she's female and a college student, ma'am. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her. Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her. For the time being, we're not relying on that witness's statements. That is all. What is that supposed to mean? The prosecution has other, more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student, because as you all know, female college students have absolutely no merit to their opinions. Clearly. A female college student, eh? It means she's female and a college student, sir. If you absolutely must hear her testimony, you'll have to give us a good reason why. Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. Well, it clearly does. And a hat. I wonder where the hat went. The victim is wearing a scarf in that photo, right? So, about the witness who took this photo. What was the person doing all the way in the mountains? She was taking photos of wildflowers, apparently. There are many unusual types of flora on the mountain, Miss Faye. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there. Spirits? Oh, now that you mention it, this photo. This cloudy, fog-like thing. Is it a ghost? I don't believe it. No, Your Honor, no. I don't think it's a ghost. Gumshoe, the man with the logic in the situation. That's rare. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Drizzling, huh? That's right. There was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. But not as dreary as the mood that's in this courtroom right now. Hey. Looks like a cold front just moved in. In any case, the point is that the area was quite damp. There was even some fog. I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Is that part of the witness's testimony as well? Of course it is. He pushed the victim hard in the back, and she fell down right on her stomach. I remember that happening once myself. It was really brutal. Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed, or were you the one getting pushed? Or does it mean that you pushed someone down like that once? With his mind-boggling tales and the way he said brutal, I wonder if he's... Yes. Yes, 100% yes.
Save your nasty look for the right person.
Eh?
Take a look. Poor baby. Court record seems to have wet itself.
Hey! Watch where you spill your coffee! Court record, huh? What exactly are you discussing about that? Let me take a look at the scarf real quick. Worn by the victim at the time of the incident found on Husky Bridge. Well, it's covered in mud. That makes sense. I feel like that might be the statement. I'll look into it after this. That must have been when the scarf fell off. So in other words, there was a struggle between the criminal and the victim, huh? That's what the witness said. Well, it looks like she didn't remember about the scarf. But from what she said, it sounded like a pretty violent fight, ma'am. The area was wet from rain. Wayne. What the hell? Wet from Wayne. Dude named Wayne just came over and soaked the damn thing. The bridge was probably wet too. Which would explain why the scarf was all covered in mud, but... there's something about this testimony that's still bothering me.
Talk about a surprise. I had no idea there was a photo.
So what do I do?
You really still believe him? Mr. Cryberry... Crybaby, I mean?
Of course I do!
So little kitten believes in fairy tales, huh? In that case, the answer is obvious. If what you believe is the truth, then that means that somewhere hidden in that testimony is a contradiction. One huge contradiction waiting to be discovered. That's your chance.
Autopsy report. Nope, that makes sense. scarf worn by the victim at the time of the incident found on Dusky Bridge. That also makes sense, too. If I had to take a guess, I'd say it has something to do with the fact that the bridge is, like... It's very locked tight, and there's not a whole lot of room to maneuver. It would have been a hell of a scuffle of some kind. Shove the victim down from behind. They were facing forward. Let's see.
Objection!
Nope, got that wrong. This evidence establishes that the defendant is lying, right? Don't ask me to confirm your facts. Sorry, this is my first time handling a case. Well, let's make it a memorable occasion with a penalty. Shit. And here I thought he would go easy on me because I'm new. Is that it? I mean, we have a... Whoopsies. I didn't even mean to do that. Shit. Sorry, Judge. I accidentally pressed my present button. Alright, what piece of evidence would prove that she could not have been pushed from behind? I mean, the front of their coat doesn't seem to be messy in any way. That could be it. Meh.
Objection!
Let's see. Apparently this is right. So at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Yeah, and fog too. Just a generally soggy atmosphere. Smugness. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere. But this is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk. Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Well, by all means, please enlighten us to what isn't right. What is it about this photo of the trunk that doesn't fit with the Dirpty here? I mean, I would say it has something to do with the coat. If she fell, then, there would clearly be just a mess of shit on her front. And for whatever reason, it's clean.
Take that!
Naturally, the answer is right here. The victim's coat. As far as I can see, there's nothing strange about it. That's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions of the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky Bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud. That's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled. Fouled, rather. Gee. I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. It's I'm not here saying that water isn't wet or something. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If Your Honor had fallen in the shower instead of on a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, would be wet, but not muddy. But the scarf, asshole. Fortunately, I have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day? The surface of the bridge, huh?
A real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like this.
Neither would a real woman. Of course I can. Here is the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy. The evidence is this scarf. It should be obvious. Scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy. It means that the bridge was obviously covered in mud. No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo. Hey, same to you, buddy. Miss Faye's assertion makes perfect sense to me. I do admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction? For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we? All right. It's not like he's really giving me a choice here.
You're doing pretty well for a little kitten.
Mr. Armando.
No matter what he says, contradiction always comes down to a lie. either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? False evidence. It's one of those three.
What you said just now, I'm not sure I like that. That wasn't me, Your Honor. It was the coffee aficionado over here that said it. This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know.
Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court.
Yep.
But we won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as the flimsy scam it really is.
Yes! The false evidence in this case is... Alright, this is finally going to give us a reason to get that witness to come in here and testify. The witness's testimony. It is a no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen?
Yeah, that's what the witness told us.
That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all. That's true.
It's not just true, it's the truth. If there was a truly decisive witness in this case, I'm certain that boy Wander over there would have called them into the first place.
Your Honor! The defense requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all. You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We are prepared to present our witness at any time. Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time. What Mr. Edgeworth said kinda worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth? Now, let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution summons the woman who saw the events of the day with her very own eyes. This is it, Mia. The battle begins here. Witness, what is your name and occupation? Hey, bitch, how's it going? Yep. Everyone is so silent that I can hear their hearts going pitter-patter. Oh. When I look at you... Oh, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double, and a dozen donut holes. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite. Hey, not so fast! As I said before, this witness is very sensitive and delicate. I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Miss Fay, you could learn a lot from this man. If he's such a gentleman, he sure doesn't act like one to me.
Sir.
Hey, yes, my dear?
This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause.
Not at all. It's no trouble at all. Now then, may we please have your name and occupation?
My name is, Melissa Foster. I'm a college student, a freshman in the literature department.
You were on the scene when the unfortunate events occurred, right? And you were the one who took this photo? Is that accurate?
Well, how could you be so mean?
Now, see here, what are you doing shoving that in her face like that? Huh? But it's just a photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous. Next time, I'll be forced to penalize you. Uh-oh. I don't like the turn this has taken. Yeah. Is she staring at me?
And you would be...
Huh? I'm the defense attorney. My name is Mia Fey.
I see. So you are...
Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best.
Jeez. Lying sack of shit. At least I have the, the afterthought to know that she's at least in jail right now.
I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. And right after that, I called the police.
And by the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? I believe the map would be of help here.
I was standing right over here. I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs.
Interesting. So you took the photo from that location, eh?
I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to.
Oh, what a cute camera, just like its owner. Boo! All right then, Miss Fey, time for your cross-examination. I'm so screwed. But I warn you, make the witness cry again, and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel. I'm a save. Because I'm not going to play games with the goddamn judge. Whatever. I'll press on whatever the hell I want. Penalties be damned.
I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers.
Did you say wildflowers?
Yes, the mountain is famous for its beautiful spring wildflowers.
But it's only February.
Well, I couldn't wait for spring to come.
Oh, wait, wrong register. Ho, I know just how you feel. I get so mixed up because I'm just like, okay, which judge is this? Oh, right, Canadian. It's just like when I first started growing this glorious beard of mine. I just couldn't wait, so I wore a dyed blonde Santa beard until mine grew in properly. Would you mind if we got back to the facts of the case, Your Honor?
Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge.
Was there anything strange about the two of them?
I'm a bad girl. I know I am. It looked like they were having a really serious conversation up there. So I decided to watch them like some kind of peeping Tom.
No, not at all. Everyone's like that. I love watching other people fight too. In fact, I can't get enough of it. Actually, that's why I took this job in the first place. Too much info, Your Honor. In any case, it's perfectly natural for you to have kept watching them, especially dressed as they were.
Well, anyway, I was watching them very closely. Suddenly, they just started fighting.
Do you have any idea what they were fighting about?
No, I have no idea. Why do you ask that?
Oh, I just thought that maybe you overheard what they said. Oh, shit.
I would never eavesdrop. I've got more class than that.
That's right, Miss Fey. Don't drag the witness down to your level. I think that's exactly what the other judge said.
That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment.
Why did you take a photo?
Well, the two of them were really going at it. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a news reporter. I guess that part of me just kinda took over.
Smells like a lie to me. Yes, I understand completely. Even now, I can't completely abandon my boyhood dreams. I still use my grandson to test my comedy routines on. So he wanted to be a comedian, huh? Not that it has any bearing on this.
All I could do was use my camera, so I took the photo of the crucial moment and gave it to the police. And right after that, I called the police.
Wait. That does... contradiction in the actual wording of everything here. You called the police?
Yes, because it looked to me like the murderer was going to try to escape.
We were already moving before the call even came in. Thanks to the victim's note, we had already started our operation. That was certainly tough luck for the criminal, eh? If Terry Falls isn't the criminal, then there must be something strange in that girl's testimony.
Be careful, kitten. That girl has the judge wrapped right around her little finger. You're gonna have a tough time poking holes in that testimony of hers.
You're gonna have to come up with something really good, Mia. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. You know, again, I have to take the assumption this isn't really a crucial moment. This just shows them standing there, and it doesn't look like there's any hint or evidence of a scuffle in any way.
Objection!
Yep. Witness, when you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified that you saw the two of them starting to fight. Normally that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that?
Well, you see...
The photo we presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it. No. My apologies, young lady, but Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. He can certainly downplay a situation, can't he?
I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up. The film, I mean.
You ran out of film?
This photo was the last one.
What? Unfortunately, that is the truth. I personally examined all the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself playing amongst the wildflowers. The witness herself? Who took the photos?
Well, you see, my camera has a timer feature built into it.
So you took photos of yourself? That's not vapid. I remember taking some photos of myself once, too. Please, no details. It seems that Miss Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all. Wait, just a minute. Well, if she had no film left, she couldn't very well take more pictures, eh? Miss Foster, perhaps then you could tell us about a different sort of photo. Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet.
Very well, then. Let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts of the fight that you witnessed.
Yes, Mr. Judge.
Boy, this guy is really a sucker for sweet talk.
Looks like the other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all the attention.
Yeah, it's sickening. I want all that attention for myself! Oh, hey. Okay. I was using my So, wait, this isn't even a new testimony? We're just, like, moving on to a new one? Or we're moving on to, like, some, other stuff in it? using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly they started fighting. The victim turned around and... Okay, so it is a new testimony. But, yeah, there wasn't a theatrics to it. The victim turned around and tried to run away, but she only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the... 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back, eh? Well, let's take a look at that real quick. So, according to that thing on the, according to that meter on here, that is 5 yards. Damn, hold on a sec. I have a, here. I have a tape measure here. I'm actually going to take a quick look at this and see... Oh, that's almost an inch with the tape measure. So if indeed she was standing right about at like the 5th plank of it. Fuck, that's like 5 yards. Yeah, no, like that's exactly 5 yards between her and the gap on the bridge. So yeah, she didn't run 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back. I think we already found the contradiction. But just for the sake of covering all our bases here. Now, that immediately piqued my interest, because I noticed that 5 yards meter. I'm like, that's going to be important, I'm sure. Anyway, I've already testified this. People standing on the stench suddenly started fighting. Victim turned around and tried to run away.
Hold it!
The victim. Why do you think she tried to run away? With her police training, she certainly knew better than to turn her back on a criminal. This was a large, powerful man with a knife. If it had been a quaggy woman like you, I'm sure she would have acted differently. Quaggy? Why, you... If it had been me, I would have jumped into the river. There's still something wrong with this testimony.
She only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back.
So you're saying Sergeant Hawthorne wasn't able to get away from him?
Well, it's a narrow bridge, and it was swaying back and forth. If you ask me, both of them were in danger of falling off. I only wish I could have done something to help her.
That seems to make sense. I wonder about that. Something seems kind of off.
Doesn't now. You have a good sixth sense. When you feel that something's off, that's when you need to figure out why.
If Terry Falls isn't the criminal, then there must be something strange in that girl's testimony.
Be careful, kitten. That girl has the judge wrapped right her little finger. I've read the whole thing already.
All right. We got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back. Really now?
Objection!
Witness, your testimony is a joke.
Huh? What? But I just...
Miss Fay, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry. One short testimony and 2 bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse. You said there were 2 contradictions? It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the 2 of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well then... She would have hit a dead end. You say 10 yards, but she couldn't have ran even 5. Because Dusky Bridge has collapsed on that side. What does all this mean? It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it. This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court? Just a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? There's one major mistake in this diagram.
What did you say?
What are you referring to? It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it.
So you're saying...
I'm saying that even though this bridge is currently in disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident.
That's ridiculous!
You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. I apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. Lying sack of bastard.
That guy's good.
Huh? What do you mean?
He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, all right. That diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy.
What? That coward!
Well, Miss Fay, seems you've once again made a reckless accusation.
I'm so sorry. I should have been more careful myself.
No, it wasn't your fault at all. Now then, shall we go on with the trial? I'd like to establish once and for all what it was that witness actually saw.
Indeed.
All right, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony?
It's so hard to go on.
We're all on your side, Miss Foster.
No.
There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw.
Yes, sir.
All right, new testimony. Running from the crime.
After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw.
Here. Witnessing such violence must have been difficult.
Yes, sir. I'm still shaken up.
Bullshit.
If he accepts this testimony as it is, we're finished.
Don't say that!
Oh, well. Maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. They make a really great mocha latte.
This trial isn't over yet!
That's what I like to hear.
All right, Miss Ray. Your cross-examination, if you please.
The contradiction is staring you right in the face, Mia.
Go on the attack. Running from the crime. Okay, so I'm going to save just in case I accidentally put myself in hot water. I think I'm doing okay so far, though. It's interesting. I'm wondering, like, you know, how much more is going to be in this chapter? You know, what else is going to be in Chapter 4? You know? I mean, we saw that Phoenix was looking up this case. I wonder if he's going to try and retroactively go back and try and fix it. Though, it's been a while. I wonder if our good friend who has stolen cars and done a whole lot of other things, I wonder if he's dead. That's a good question. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Are you saying that the victim didn't fall down on the bridge?
Actually, maybe she did.
Of course she didn't fall down on the bridge. Don't interrupt her, you bastard. If she had fallen down, this photo wouldn't make any sense. If that was the case, her coat would have been all muddy. If you don't mind, I was asking the witness. No need to be so rude. Well, young lady.
Of course she didn't fall down.
Son of a bitch.
The man in the prison uniform grabbed her before she could.
We're one step too slow.
And then, what did the defendant do after that?
Then, he carried her over to the car.
You personally witnessed that?
Yes.
Did anything strange happen when he did that?
Well, I don't know if you'd call it strange or not, but that's when the victim's scarf fell off.
You mean this scarf?
Her words match what we found at the scene. I don't see any problem.
I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden.
Hold it!
You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself?
Yes.
Considering the size of the defendant, I don't think it would be difficult. Yes, but let's remember they were on a narrow bridge that was ready to collapse. Is it even possible for him to have carried a dead body on a bridge like that? Well, the fact of the matter is that he did. That kind of talk is just silly. Wow, why did you get so emotional all of a sudden?
Miss Faye, if you think there's other possibility, please share it with the rest of us.
He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge.
Why? Why do you say that? It's already a broken down bridge hidden away in the mountains. Doing anything more to hide the corpse wouldn't be going overboard, wouldn't it?
Yes, but the mountain is famous among hikers. A surprising number of people go up there.
But it's February, right? And it was raining that day, correct?
There is also a small temple and a channeling dojo there. You know those monks, they just love cold, isolated places.
I think the witness is trying to say that the corpse could have been found at any time. Besides, the witness is merely reporting what she witnessed with her own eyes. Yeah, but her eyes are lying liars. Also, why didn't he just throw it overboard? That's the other question, too. Apparently, things that fall in that river rarely ever show up ever again. Toss her over. Maybe I'm weird, but yeah, just take care of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw.
And you're absolutely certain that it was my client who was carrying the body?
Well, he was wearing a prisoner's uniform, but as for his face...
So you're saying you didn't get a clear look at his face?
Well, they were far away, and it was raining as well. I thought I was only supposed to say exactly what I saw.
Yeah, excellent. You're a remarkably honest young woman.
Something about this testimony is bothering me, but what?
Hey, kid, have you ever put salt in your coffee?
No, why would I?
Why not?
Huh?
It may actually go better with coffee than sugar, right?
No.
Listen, my point is, if you're not sure, you might as well add a ton of salt to it. It might bring out the rust in something, like a piece of evidence.
He's right, Mia. Go present something. You've got nothing to lose.
By the way, I wouldn't put salt in my coffee. The two don't go well after all.
You know, I keep on hinging about the idea that there are several different means of being able to hide a body, especially in terms with the Eagle River. Why you wouldn't just toss the body overboard and keep your trunk completely clean? You could just state that you didn't see whoever it was that was up there. So, if I'd have to press anything, I'd have to go with this.
Objection!
Yes! A killer not wanting his victim to be found. I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for the purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found.
Well, what is it?
Take another look at the map of the area and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. Why did you specifically say bodies, Edgeworth? That's very specific. That's weird. In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. Yeah. If 10 murders were to occur at the same spot above Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water!
Order! 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 I'm not sure I care for the way you put that, Miss Fay. But I must admit, it does seem odd not to have thrown the body in the river. Well, Mr. Edgeworth. How sad. Perhaps Miss Fay would do well to try taking a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Maybe Edgeworth threw a body in there. Maybes. Quite true. Miss Fay, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all. But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. That's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Please, witness, go on with your testimony.
I'll try.
All you have to do is tell us only what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. Who is he talking about?
All right. I'll do my best.
Hey, okay, we're doing this again. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms, carried her over to the car. Killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there.
Hold it!
What did the man do then?
Well, naturally, he got in the car and was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you have to call the police.
And so that's when you called the police. You're sure that you saw all that with your own eyes?
Yes, I'm 100% certain. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Okay, so is that all it was? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw. That's the one and only thing I could possibly think of, is that if Terry didn't want to get caught, if the entire point of this whole thing was to make sure that he didn't get caught, he would make sure that he stuffed everything in the trunk. So, with that regard, probably should have noticed the scarf.
Objection!
Nope. Okay, I'm wrong with that. This evidence establishes that the defendant is lying, right? Don't ask me to confirm your facts. Sorry, this is my first time. There. Let's make it a memorable occasion with a penalty. Okay, then.
Objection!
Shit! I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Goddamn, the buttons on the 3DS are so goddamn tiny. Well, while we're at it, while we're just spamming random things.
Objection!
Screw it. Yeah, I saved, right? I don't know. Autopsy report?
Objection!
No. Nah. I mean, the good news is that I don't have a whole lot of evidence. So I could just toss stuff at it. I got one idea, but I've kind of destroyed my health in the process of doing it, so...
Objection!
There. I have a save state. Killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. Well, ma'am, we were discussing this before. Where how apparently you were somewhere on the other side of that gigantic cliff over there. And in that regard, the only thing you probably would have been able to see is the event that took place and take a picture of said event. And if that is the case, how were you able to see him even break into the car in the first place?
Objection!
I knew that was going to come in handy at some point. All right. Thank you. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time.
Done what?
Made a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Fay? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes?
Yes. And?
It's simple, Miss Foster. take a look at this diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car, this outcropping of rock is directly in the way. That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. You can't blame this on an outdated map, you asshole. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car.
That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine.
I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court, yes? This is the location that the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but still, you claim to have been able to see the killer's car. No! Order! Oh, order in the court! What is the meaning of all this hullabaloo? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. That was a very specific thing, but she repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes.
Master Judge?
What is it?
I think I must have remembered things wrong.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that. Miss Vey, no one on the face of the planet is perfect. Yes, indeed. Quite true. You know what they say. To err is human, to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here.
What? That's not fair!
Save the tears for later, kitten.
Mr. Armando.
Don't look back until the trial is over. Now is the time to go forward.
But that wasn't fair!
Okay, kitten, you need to relax. Then you need to remember the other kitten's testimony.
The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there.
So tell me, how does she know that? How did she know that he broke into the trunk?
Aha!
Well, Miss Foster, until you can explain how you knew that, you're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom.
Well, witness?
Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk because there were marks left on the trunk lid. I'm certain they were scratch marks from when he broke into it.
Wow. Let me see that photo. That's true. These certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Vey, are you satisfied? The judge is on her side. Can't make any mistakes here. What she just said. Is there a contradiction in there somewhere? Well, here's a question. When the hell did Dahlia see the trunk? Because, okay, no. No, the timing of this is absolutely wrong. Because, yeah, so let's say that he actually did. Knife her in the back, immediately pick her up, head over to the car, break into the trunk, open the trunk, put her inside, close it, What happened directly afterwards? Got into the car, left. How the hell did, Miss Melissa here, Melissa Hawthorne, how did she manage to see that? That's another piece of proof. She should have absolutely no idea about those in the first place. Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself.
What?
You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers. But even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Finally. I finally got her.
Getting pretty tired of waiting over here.
Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Fay explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was she happened to be passing by. She put the corpse in herself. She is the owner of the car! There's only one way that the witness had the chance to see those scratches. Yes, what is it? Naturally. When she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. Brr. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was... Melissa Foster! It was you that did it, wasn't it?
That's ridiculous! I could never... It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that...
I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Fowles had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open.
But he stole the car.
He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light, which means that the key would have still been in the ignition.
Oh, I see.
Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk.
Objection!
No, objection. Preposterous to even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? The corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. And we already know that at the time she was taking photographs. But it has a timer, asshole. Now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Hedgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is, the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Let's take another look at this camera and see what feature it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. That's not really built in. I'm pretty sure she bought that separate. But I'll let that stand. Why, it's almost as if she had brought this camera just to take this picture. What are you trying to say then, Miss Fay? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, the answer is yes. She was somewhere else. I'm gonna go ahead and save because I think I know exactly what the plan is here. And I've gotten very goddamn far in this. Exactly. She was not in the field. Will the defense please explain further?
Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? In answering that question, we'll also make it clear that Miss Foster's true identity.
Well then, please answer this question. Where was Melissa Foster when the incident of the bridge occurred? Alright, well, let's think about this real clear here. Well, clearly, killer here, victim here. Fair enough. Let's see. Okay. So, She had to have been there to be able to just do something about stopping the supposed killer. So she couldn't have been up here, that's for sure. So she had to be down here at some point. This would have not, being over here would not have allowed her to be able to do anything. So my guess is that she probably was at the car. Yep. Son of bitch. Naturally, the witness was right here, I think. In the spot where the defendant's car was? Yes, she had to put the body in the trunk before the defendant returned. You don't mind if I ask one teeny weeny question, do you, Miss Faye? Uh-oh, he's got that condescending tone in his voice. If she put the body in the trunk at the time as you suggested, that must mean that Valerie Hawthorne was already dead at that point, correct? Indeed. Please take a look at the top of Dusky Bridge. Certainly looks to me like the victim is still alive, am I mistaken? If Valerie Hawthorne was already dead, then who is this? The mountain is famous for spirits, so maybe you think it was the ghost of the victim? Well, it could have been a spirit, right? Miss Faye, don't waste the court's time with that kind of foolishness. Anyway, I still maintain that the witness was in a different place at the time. Are you certain? Yes, I am certain. More or less. Oh, come now, Miss Faye. Well, then please answer the question. Okay, I got that wrong then. Where was Melissa when the incident the bridge took? Okay, it wasn't at that point. Screw it. I'm just going to see what this does. Naturally, the witness was standing right here. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Before pointing out where the witness was standing, Miss Faye should do something herself. She should figure out where she's standing, if you catch my drift. Oh, don't worry. The drift was certainly caught. Yes, failure is an excellent opportunity for growth. Now, try better next time. Yes, thank you. Perhaps they just had a really sternly... Maybe they just had a sternly worded conversation. And then both of them got off the bridge. And then that was the murderer's chance to strike. So if you think about it, she would have been in the bushes or something to that degree. I don't know. My health is kind of dead. So I'm just going to say, in the river! She's a scuba diver, Your Honor. The defense has gone mad, Your Honor. My record is still untarnished. I'm just gonna say this. The witness was standing right here. Nope. Okay, I've screwed that one up. Right where she says she was. Nope. Okay, so we've cleared up all those parts and all those things. I mean, I guess she would have been, like, just off to the side of the entire situation, wouldn't she? The witness was standing right here. Nope, I got that wrong again. The only spot I can think now at this point, because, over here would be ridiculous, and she would have no way of getting over here really quickly. Already tried the car. That doesn't make any sense. Somehow, was she in the victim spot? Naturally, the witness was right here. The music stopped, am I right? But that's... Oh, shit. My Canadian accent is failing me here. That's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. Here. Order, order, order! Miss Faye, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. Holy shit. But this would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. How asinine! Of course Mr. Falls met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness. What? No, wait, wrong, wrong judge. I'm so completely confused and distraught that I'm getting people mixed up. What? Whatever. It's the only possible explanation. No. There's a simpler explanation to all this, but okay. The woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Me? Let's remember that it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. No, he gave him notes saying, hey, wear a scarf. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted. But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You are just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? I've got it all right here. This piece of evidence that will blow this case wide open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like. Mr. Falls had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification. Namely, this muddy scarf. It was Mr. Falls who requested that she wear this scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you are wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster? No! And she's run. Or fainted. Strange stuff. Alright. Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together.
The only question is, why did she do it?
Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit. Well, we have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both to wait in their respective lobbies. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well. This court is in recess. To be continued. Well, this is a roller coaster so far. Let us save and see where we go with this. Hey, buddy. All right.
I'm sorry. I want to say thanks. You're real good. You really hooked me up.
Thanks. We're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime.
Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle we've got to get past.
Obstacle?
Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill that policewoman anyway?
Motive, huh?
Anyway, we're still badly in need of information.
Information? Right.
What we need is info about this Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. And one more thing.
What is it?
Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. The kidnap and murdering case that Zebra Boy is on death row for.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. Wrong voice. I didn't do nothing. Kill nobody.
Mr. Falls, in that case, tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago.
Okay, I trust you. That day 5 years ago, I dream of it every day. This picture, it reminds me everything. Bridge looks same, just like then, 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart any minute.
So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years.
Sorry, buddy, but you sound like one of those that could... but you sound like the one that could fall apart any minute. Yeah.
That's true, I did. I did kidnap her. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Your girlfriend? Huh?
Hey, hold on there. Did you say Hawthorne?
The victim's last name?
Dahlia Hawthorne, Valerie's little sister.
What? Are you serious? Girl. Oh, wait, the girl. Let her go.
Shut up, come closer, and I kill her.
Sorry. But you're not going to get the chance. Uh-oh. The detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first I thought shooting someone for a kidnapping was crossing the line, but if it was to protect her little sister, I can understand why she did it.
Wrong! No protect sister! Valerie betrayed me! Betray us!
I betray everyone! Everyone betray me! I'm fed up with this world! What do you mean she betrayed you?
Everything! All lies! All make-believe! Kidnapping, too!
A make-believe kidnapping?
Dahlia, my girlfriend! My love! My teen angel!
Did he actually say my teen angel? He's seen one too many soap operas.
I do anything she says! Anything Dahlia says!
This sounds like another sad sap that we had a little while ago. First mission. Anything Dahlia says... Hold on a minute! What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by...
Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too.
Valerie was in on it?
Dahlia's family rich. Jewelry business. We get one jewel. That's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note. We sent to her dad. Asked for $2 million diamonds. Tell him make exchange on a Dusky Bridge. We tell him Valerie make transfer because she's a detective.
Having a police detective in your pocket is a useful thing, right? In the end, you were planning on splitting the $2 million 3 ways, huh?
Yeah, but that woman... That woman, Valerie, she do it for real. She shot me for real. Me and Dahlia.
And who felled her?
I was shot in the arm. Dahlia, she jumped in river.
Crazy wench. Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you?
I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out. Wake up with police all over.
That's when they decided to give you the death sentence.
I couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me!
That man, Terry Falls, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river, 40 feet below.
Ow, whore. These 5 years, all I wonder is, why? 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 Why did she lie? That's all I want to know.
So that's why you called her. You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself.
Yes, but I forget what she looked like, so I tell her to wear a scarf. I don't want to hurt her. Just ask why. Why? Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? I just want to hear an answer come from her mouth, that's all.
So that's why. That's why you made a crazy escape like that.
Just one thing, Zebra Boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Falls, where is it?
Huh? Where's what?
Come on now, kitten. The ransom. The $2 million diamond. Remember that now? Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it?
I don't know.
Huh? You don't know?
No, really, I don't know. It's gone with Dahlia.
With Dahlia? That day.
Wait, that day on the bridge. Dahlia put it in backpack. Now gone with Dahlia. Gone forever in the Eagle River.
It disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute.
You can come back in now. We're about ready to go.
Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne?
Never found her. My sweet Dahlia.
They never found her.
Swallowed by river. Gone. Dahlia. My teen angel.
Your teen angel. How old was she anyway?
Just 14.
Okay, well, you could be arrested for that now.
14?!
I guess you were robbing cradles before diamonds.
She plans a fake kidnapping and then disappears into the river with a rock worth $2 million. Man, oh man. Angels these days.
It's Japan. I know it's Japan, but it was localized here, so I don't care. Falls takes the fall and gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel? Or is she really a...
It's time, kitten. Looks like we have a few more aces up our sleeve now.
You bet. Diamonds.
Training wheels come off now, Mia. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. That's one of my rules. Remember it.
Oh boy, let's see what goes down now. Now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. Witness, are you feeling better?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best.
You're a brave young lady.
Not this again.
I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try to pin the crime on an innocent student is... What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime. That's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? Certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer. A motive, huh? I figured that's what I had to establish next. Well, Miss Faye, you have any evidence of a motive? Yes, of course. I think.
You're still acting as tame as a kitten.
Mr. Armando.
Listen, a lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro.
Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that.
Excuse me. May I speak, Mr. Judge?
Of course. Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like. And this is where she got the phrase. Yep.
I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true.
I see. You're such an honest and upstanding young lady.
Looks like this witness is a real professional.
What do you mean?
Look at the 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her, click, she lights right up.
Very well, then. Let's hear what the witness has to say. History, eh? Let's see.
I was out of the country until the year before last. Until I entered college, I'd never even been to Eagle Mountain before. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. For kidnapping a poor girl, I think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster.
A lot of interesting information you know about this, thing. I don't know. Where the hell did you hear all that stuff? The country, eh? Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Indeed.
You're up to bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile.
You bet. Somehow I have to tie her to this case. Alright. Gotten far, so I'm going to save right here. Here. There we go. Alright, let's do this. I was out of the country until the year before last. So, what country were you living in then?
We were all living abroad, but after my parents were killed...
It was a brutal civil war. She had to try to make her way back home alone.
I lost everything. I didn't even have any personal identification.
What kind of sob story is this? What do I do? Should I press her for details? Let's see. Witness, answer my question. I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in?
Objection!
Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in, and how many languages she may speak are irrelevant here. What we're here to evaluate is whether the witness has any connection to this case.
I've lived abroad ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Falls or Detective Hawthorne.
Yes, I think we've established that point. Yes, indeed. Well then, shall we add what you just stated to the official testimony?
Yes, please, Mr. Judge.
Sure.
Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant.
You didn't know either person? Are you certain of that?
Yes, I'm afraid I'm rather shy around people.
Oh well, that can't be helped. Why is he just agreeing with everything that comes out of her mouth? First time you saw either of them was when they were on the bridge, correct?
Yes, it really was a coincidence. Until I entered college, I had even been to Eagle Mountain before.
Oh, whoops. No. I want more information about that. So what made you decide to go to Eagle Mountain anyway?
I just love being outdoors. Picnics, hiking, that sort of thing.
You don't look like much of a hiker to me, but you do look like a digger of sorts. But Eagle Mountain is a 2-hour drive from here, and no trains run through there. There are plenty of mountains that are closer and easier to get to.
Well, I went there once with the college hiking club. I fell in love with its stark, desolate beauty and its cold yet romantic gloominess.
Didn't know you were such a goth. By the way, what's the name of your college? The prosecution objects to any questions that involve the witness's private life. All that matters is that she is a material witness to a crime. The witness doesn't need to respond to questions that are clearly malicious in intent.
Thank you. She has really gone too far.
Edgeworth, sit the fuck down. Miss Faye, you're treading on thin ice here. I hardly said anything. Talk about sensitive.
And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer.
Perhaps, but your behavior that day was very suspicious. Not only have you contradicted yourself here in court, but you know things you shouldn't. For example, the scratches on the trunk of the car.
Well, that's...
Unfortunately, Miss Faye, your last statement proves nothing. Oh, really? And why is that? The witness came to the police station once to identify the suspect. It's entirely possible that, at the time, an officer showed her this photo. That seems like a rather serious mistake.
That's the oldest trick in the prosecutor's book.
That's not fair!
That wicked inmate. I'll never be able to forget that horrible day. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago.
A grudge?
Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death.
Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such a deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt.
Objection!
My client has always maintained that he's innocent of those charges.
He seems rather forgetful. Your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well.
What do you mean by that?
Your client. He forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about what her testimony...
her testimony as well, damn it. Well, she's right about that. Mr. Falls is kind of forgetful. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What did you mean by that?
Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right?
Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification.
Why, if I'd been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me.
Oh, that's true. He's clearly a bitter man. This is bad. Mr. Fowl's reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with the last statement? Add it to your testimony. Your Honor, what the witness just said now is tremendously important. I'd like it added to the official testimony. The prosecution has no objections. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. That testimony only helps to further prove that point. No, that's not why I... Enough. Witness, if you would.
My pleasure, Mr. Judge. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf.
What do you mean by lucky?
Well, it's February now. Everyone is wearing scarves. If I had accidentally worn a white scarf like he said...
Then you yourself might have been killed. That would have been a horrible loss for this world.
Looked like you pressed him too hard this time, kitten.
Mr. Armando.
Keep looking around you and you're going to lose sight of the finishing line. Justice is blind, but she's not deaf. Sometimes you have to know when not to talk.
Meh.
We're kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster.
You knew about that incident? But weren't you out of the country until the year before last?
Well, I saw a report about the escaped convict on the news. They had an in-depth report about his whole history.
So you were still living abroad 5 years ago, is that right?
Yes.
I can't let her get away with those lies.
Listen to me. She's neck deep in the whole thing. Somehow you're just gonna have to get her to show the court her true self.
I feel like this might be it.
Objection!
Okay, it is. I have a feeling, I'm not 100% certain on it. Witness, I want you to look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Ah, you're talking about this scarf right here, eh?
Yes, that's it. The scarf the policewoman was wearing.
I've got to know. Just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. White? This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me. Oh! Okay, I thought the color was going to come into this. Well, it was foggy that day, and it was raining as well. It's not surprising that she mistook it for white.
Objection!
But, no. White is a very distinctive color. I mean, especially on that day. I think she would have been able to tell. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. Yes, but what's the significance? It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is...
Take that!
Witness, have you ever seen this note?
Note? No, never.
It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have... I wonder about that.
What do you mean?
This note shows Mr. Full's instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear white scarf for identification. Identification is quite the... Oh, I missed that entire thing. Witness, you knew what was what this note said. Yeah. So, that's a heck of a thing. Identification is a very big word for Falls, I think. And it's because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly said white scarf. Well, Miss Foster. No! Order! Mr. Edgeworth, I am waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one. The person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another. And finally, one more person. Did you say one more person?
That's right. A person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten?
Yep. The third person that knew the contents of the note was...
Take that!
And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? I've never heard of that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time... tell her this time... Okay, there's a name right there. What's this? So who is this person? This Dahlia Hawthorne? Miss Faye must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. They're the dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls.
Objection!
Don't think so. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago, when she fell off of Dusky Bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she was still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster. I believe the same age that you are. Even you couldn't... Miss Faye, you're not saying... But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne! What?
Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist.
I understand. If I can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. Now is my chance to make Mr. Edgeworth squirm. Witness, just who are you anyway? I'm... I didn't think it'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness.
Yes, I understand.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far. You don't mean... Yes, prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full background checks on all of our witnesses. What did he say?
Looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go.
No way! But then why?
If you hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was a testimony, so he made a little trade.
Let me introduce you to the victim's youngest sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But I thought she died 5 years ago. This is moving right into, like, southern accent. I thought she died 5 years... No. We thought so as well, but, well, as you can see... Why? Why did she hide her identity for 5 years? That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder. Really, Miss Faye? I must say, your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. How dare you! Please, let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious. Her big sister. Miss Faye must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. What? I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Faye, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would the witness have for killing her beloved sister? Well, you see, I thought I was winning, but somehow he's turned it around on me.
I think you need a little push in the right direction, kitten. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting our claim.
What have you done? That wasn't me. It was this guy, this crazy coffee addict. Objection! I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man.
What makes you think they're empty, boy?
Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. I am sweating bullets.
You think you're in a tough spot, huh?
Of course, aren't I?
No. You've just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you.
Up to me?
The rashness of youth. How charming.
This coming from someone younger than me. Now then, let's not waste any more time. Miss Faye, saves! I need to save this shit. Gotten pretty far at this point, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. What motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne?
What is this? Is this the defense's idea of a joke?
If so, I certainly don't get the punchline. Well, Miss Faye. Oh, that was the rashness of youth. Rashness of youth. And what is your point in furthering? Oh, God damn it.
The witness stayed hidden for 5 years, kitten. There must be a good reason for that. Somehow it must involve Valerie Hawthorne.
Okay, one more time, Mia. You gotta read the court record more carefully this time. Okay, I've screwed that up severely. Alright, so what would be it, if not for riches? Why would she hide? The whole truth must come out. Ah, okay. This might actually have something to do with it. The victim's note. A whole truth. Something that she's hiding. Shit. Well, that's really nuked my health, but here we go. The story starts after Terry Falls escaped. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, "Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out." Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal to the world her whole truth. The whole truth? There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently.
A terrific story, Miss Faye. If you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Faye. What was the secret that was so important?
Where's your evidence?
Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne and Terry Falls. There's only one important secret that connects them all.
Oh, yes. I know the secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. What testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago. We believe it will explain a lot of things, such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. Very well. I'll grant your request for further testimony. I know it'll be painful for you, but can you enlighten us us once more, my little maple leaf?
Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge.
Putting on the old charm once more. Once more time, Dahlia. But this will be the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles. 5 years ago. Finally, some more info.
5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister, Valerie, brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life.
The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe after all that, she murdered her sister? Preposterous!
Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Faye. Yes, Your Honor. As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination.
Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again. If we're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up. We've still got that info, that ace up our sleeve.
What info?
Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged.
That's right. It was a fake kidnapping. Terry Falls told us that in the lobby.
I do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says. This is just turning into, Frig. What was, damn it. Hottie. That guy.
What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by...
Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too.
Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret.
Alright. So, save. Because I feel like I'm not going to have the wiggle room I did before.
Cool.
5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls.
Did you and Mr. Falls have any relationship?
Yes, as a tutor.
You were tutoring him, Mr. Falls?
No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Mr. Falls came to the house to tutor me.
That makes sense. 5 years ago, she was only 14. He probably came up with the kidnapping plan during that time. The Hawthorns are in the jewelry trade and are quite wealthy, you see. Quite a clever fellow, that Mr. Falls. Did I hear him right? Did you just call Mr. Falls a clever fellow? Not even.
The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister, Valerie, brought it to the bridge.
I heard the diamond is valued in the neighborhood of $2 million.
$2 million?
It was still uncut, so it was about the size of a pint of milk.
$2 million pint of milk? I don't know what to think about that. Well, you drink milk from powder, so I don't know what the hell to think about it.
The defendant demanded that her sister, Valerie, make the exchange. Not as a detective, but of course, as an individual. By the way, I want to ask you, Mr. Edgeworth, why do you think he wanted to make the exchange up there on that mountain? If he ever got surrounded, it would be hard to escape. There's one thing a kidnapper wants to prevent, and that's police involvement. In a place like that, it would be easy to tell if he was being followed. With only one entrance to the mountain, he was ensuring his safety.
What a wickedly clever man that Mr. Falls is.
Yeah, right. It was all your plan.
Anyway, Valerie brought the diamond to the mountain and... after she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm.
That was a dangerous thing to do, considering you were being held hostage.
Yes, but actually, that saved my life.
What do you mean?
You see, Mr. Falls was holding a knife in his right hand. Somehow I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me. That's why my sister shot him. It was to save me. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind.
I'd like to hear more about what happened right at that moment.
Well, when Mr. Falls was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. I was dazed. I turned to try and run away, but Mr. Falls turned to grab me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin.
A bloodthirsty grin? Oh!
And in the next instant,
I advise the court to remember that the river is 18 feet deep and incredibly swift.
I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When I came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. I'll never forget that day. The crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. Then just one little shove from behind. That was it. Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money.
And that's why you hid your identity?
Yes. I only told my sister.
Dahlia Hawthorne, eh?
Yes, she's the only one who knew about me.
Meanwhile, legally this witness had been deceased for 5 years.
I didn't ever want something like that to happen to me again. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life.
And that new identity was Melissa Foster, right?
Yes, my sister helped me get the official paperwork taken care of.
That makes sense. Without an insider's help, doing all of the paperwork would have been impossible.
She was the only person left in the world I could count on. And you think I killed her? There's no way I could.
It's a moment of truth for this witness, too. Once the truth about this staged kidnapping comes out, everyone in the court will know how much of a Jezebel she really is.
I've got to prove that kidnapping was a hoax. I'm gonna try this. I got an inkling about it. Nope. Okay. That inkling was wrong. I don't know. Oopsies. Oh, shit. No, I didn't mean to do that. Damn it. Meh. Nope. Shit. You see, it says directly in this profile that she photographed the incident on Dusky Bridge. There's no real direct reason why she would do that in the first place. Why would she want to, change her identity, start a new life, and then immediately open up that can of worms by taking another picture? That doesn't make any sense to me. And then again, it doesn't work. Okay. I'm gonna say, okay, I have absolutely no idea which one of these statements is the lead one. Do not tell me what I'm supposed to... Don't tell me what I am supposed to present. 5 years ago. Something doesn't add up. Oh. Disparity of time. Okay. Alright. Something happened during the kidnapping, according to her. That's a lie. Okay! Alright, so it has something to do with that bridge. Alright, that bridge and the position. Okay. I'm still not 100% certain, but let's piece together. You say that Mr. Falls pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe.
But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Falls.
I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said, that's hard to believe. I should have said, that's impossible.
Impossible?
I asked that the court recall the condition of Dusky Bridge, now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in these last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind, as you claim, instead of being carried away by the river... Oh, I thought that was just a cliff edge. You would have been smashed by the bedrock below. Almost certain death. I didn't even know that was bedrock. Shit. That looked a little bit like just a sheer cliff. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible! Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. but it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. Science, bitch. Yeah. You're right, if the events occurred just as the witnesses testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Okay, come on. Canadian accent. Young lady, what's the meaning of this?
You see, I...
Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge.
What do you mean?
After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Miss Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct? Of course it is.
Now that you mention it, I do remember now, when I fell off the bridge, my skirt got caught on one of the bridge's side wires.
You can't be serious! Order in the court. It seems Miss Faye's assault has finally reached its conclusion. Not now, Mia. There's no time to retreat. Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Faye's assault. What? I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous! So what's impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. Alright, oh yeah, the thing he said before about the whole, fact that okay, wait a minute. Alright. Flawed logic contradicts the court record. Think clearly here. Yeah. Those ropes are very, very high. And if it didn't change in any way, shape, or form, there's only one way she could have fallen down. Your Honor, all the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. No! But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. That's ridiculous. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Falls had been shot in the right... Oh, Mr. Falls, rather, has been shot in the right arm, damn it. Ah. And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. So, Mr. Falls throwing the witness off the bridge? That is clearly impossible. Gotcha. Order. What is the meaning of this? Dahlia Hawthorne, you jumped into the Eagle River intentionally. What did it do? Indeed, what do you mean by such a ridiculous remark?
Yes, it's ridiculous. My sister was there to help me. She had her gun and handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into a raging river like that would have been suicide.
Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident that you could handle the swift current. But even more so, the witness had a much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh, then what is it? What's so important that she'd want to jump into the river? The witness is still alive. This fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the Eagle River. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought up the mountain with her. The $2 million diamond.
No, it can't be.
Yes, Dahlia had it all planned from the beginning. The $2 million. She was going to keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack.
Why, that's simply ridiculous, sir. Order! Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan?
This woman is a demon. And there was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne.
You mean the victim was involved in a kidnapping plot as well? But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping?
Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder.
What do you mean by that?
On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Falls, Valerie called her sister Dahlia. And then she told her what she was planning to do.
Planning to do? She was going to tell the whole truth, as she wrote in her note.
That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your sister, Valerie Hawthorne.
Who's that? Laughing at a time like this?
Yep, and the bitch is here. Forgive me, it's just hilarious.
Witness, is that you?
You amuse me, woman, Miss Mia Fey. You could certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally. You have the evidence to back it up, don't you? Evidence? Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. That at 14, I plotted it with my Mr. Falls and my sister. Well, And one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? If you can't provide evidence to at least show that.
Well, Miss Fey,
I don't know. What a joke. You, Miss Fey. Are you stupid or something?
Damn it.
How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder.
Well, it seems that we've come to the end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicion. However, I'm forced to reject the assertions made by the defense, sir.
Damn it. Of course you are. Is this it? Is it really over? A girl has made a fool of me, and there's nothing I can do about it?
With that evidence, the trial's over. Who decided that?
Mr. Armando!
Come on now, kitten. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? For example, even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony.
Testimony?
On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid the body in the trunk of Mr. Falls' stolen car and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right?
Yes, that's right.
In that case, there's only one answer, right? There's only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder.
Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who is the one person who can testify to that demon woman's crimes? Oh boy. Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. A new witness? Yes, we would like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls. The defendant? There's only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo is Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all, and that person is Terry Falls. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what's your take on this? Why not? Prosecution has no objections. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. This is my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. Well, let's cross our fingers. Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Falls, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive, and you were used for $2 million. That's not true! Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on the Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne or was it Dahlia Hawthorne? Dahlia, did you betray me? 5 years ago she promised she'd never ever betray each other. Terry. Dahlia! It's true! You are alive! You don't trust me anymore? That makes me sad. Tell the truth! Tell the truth! I believed in you! I shouldn't need to say it. You should already know. But there's one thing I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. Yeah. I will allow Mr. Falls to testify once and once only. Well then, Mr. Falls, you will be the final testimony in this trial. Oh boy, I'm screwed. Yeah, eek! I'm sorry, I apologize. Whoa. Water, please, water! Damn it. Playing with his childlike mind. Yes, he is. Can't talk. Need water.
Oh well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. I'll still match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than hell itself.
I don't know if coffee is a good thing to hand to this dude. Who Terry Falls saw. That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of Bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on Bridge. I watched my car from Bridge. I never put nobody in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked. Then she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia. Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you? That's enough, Miss Fay. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Fay, proceed with your cross-examination. Is this how you want it to end, Mr. Falls? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence?
There's only one person who can stop it. You, kitten. I think.
What do you mean you think? Well, we'll see. It's saving time. Let's see if I can find a contradiction in what he says. Okay, 4 p.m. Stop the car. I was in front of a bridge. According to the note, the meeting was supposed to take place at 4:30. You certainly arrived early, didn't you?
It was raining. Already dark too.
You waited on the bridge for 30 minutes? Mr. Falls?
Eagle Mountain, that spot. Strong, strong memories.
Why did he just climb up? Could it be he's hiding something here? What was that? 4 p.m. Stopped the car. I was in front of bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on bridge. You were quite early, so you waited on that bridge, correct?
Yeah, I was waiting. I'm used to it.
I'm sure he is. Zebra Boy waited 5 years to ask a single question. To find out why a woman betrayed him. To him, 30 minutes must have been like a blink of an eye.
I watched my car from bridge. Never put nobody in that car.
You were watching the car?
That bridge, other side is broken. Nobody can come from there. So I was watching car.
What else were you expecting him to do? I suppose that's the obvious thing to do, but something's bothering me. I'm getting that feeling. A contradiction.
I wonder what's on the other side of the broken bridge anyway.
No one lives there. There's a small shrine up on the mountain, but that's it.
Anyway, nobody came. No car. Nothing. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me.
Mr. Falls, think carefully now. Are you certain that it was Valerie Hawthorne?
I never lie! This is the truth.
You've lied several times.
It was Valerie. I remembered her face.
Wait a minute. If you had remembered her face, then why did you make her wear a scarf as identification?
Sorry. I told a little lie. But the woman I met, she was different from the woman standing here now. She was different. It was Valerie.
No, it wasn't.
Talked, and she left.
What'd you talk about? Yeah, what did you talk to her about anyway? Mr. Falls!
Valerie told the truth about kidnapping 5 years ago. She said someone needed to take the blame for it. That was all I could think to do. She said that. That's the way she lied. Got me the death penalty.
And were you satisfied with that answer, witness?
Dahlia died. It's my fault. But I don't really remember. Maybe I did. Maybe I did push her in. It don't matter no more. Either way, my Dahlia, sweet teen angel, dead.
But you just saw that she isn't dead!
After Valley talked to me on bridge, nothing left to live for. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia.
How can you be so sure? It was raining at the time, and sunset that day was at 5 o'clock. It would have already been pretty dark on that mountain at 4:30. Please, Mr. Falls, this is your last chance. You've already taken the fall once for something you didn't do.
That woman, it wasn't Dahlia.
Stop right there. What more needs to be said? Even if it means the death penalty, even if it means taking the blame for murder, you'll still do whatever is necessary to protect her? Won't you, Miss Falls?
Mr. Falls?
I know it's obvious, but he's clearly lying. He's been cursed by Dahlia Hawthorne. He'll probably go to his grave still believing in her.
Mr. Falls.
Even if you can show he's lying, the poor guy will still be cursed. I'll still have to point out the contradiction anyway. That's the curse of being a defense lawyer, I guess.
All right. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because let's take a look at this. Yeah, the cliffside is not on that picture in any way. So I think this was taken at a completely different angle than what he is specifying.
Objection!
Damn it! I was so sure of that. Watch my car from bridge. Never put no body in no... Okay, so could it be the bridge map instead?
Objection!
Damn it, nope, it wasn't.
Objection!
Nope, it wasn't the camera. Okay, I don't think the picture has anything to do with it. He arrived at 4, stood on the bridge, and then stared at that car.
Objection!
Nope, okay, it wasn't this. Yeah. Did I do the age-old way of trying things? I mean, I tried a whole crap ton of stuff on this. I watched my car from bridge. Never put no body in that car. It seems to be the most substantial thing here.
Objection!
I don't know. Problem is, with the age-old just try everything move, that would work a lot better if I had more health. I don't.
Objection!
No. We have proof Valerie was there first. Alright. Well, let me go back and think about that, huh? So, she had to be there first, you mean? Evidence Valerie was there before I mean, yeah. Okay, let's think about that. One woman came, she stood in front of me. Well, if we're going to take a look at the witness photo... No. No, that doesn't make any damn sense. Alright. I think I might actually... Wait. Alright. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. From the point of direction that the picture was taken, it would have been taken from behind in the direction where the car was. She got there before he did. Clearly, based on this picture. Or at least somebody who looks like Valerie, that's for sure. So maybe this?
Objection!
Finally! Oh, thank God. I'm so happy I didn't end up just being like, okay, finally, just tell me. I don't know. I can't figure it out. All right, so yeah, there's the evidence that she was there before he was. All right, thank you. So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge. You sure of that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You sure, huh? Well then, I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. I'm sure that you're lying.
Whoa.
Oh, I would love to hear your rationale for this, Miss Faye. You want to know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right?
But the victim at the end... but the victim is at the end of the bridge.
Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Falls, you must have arrived at the bridge after she did. Mr. Falls, please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth. This is one of the easiest testimonies, as you can present the photo almost anywhere. Oh! I just didn't think to do that. Okay.
I got there around 4 o'clock, it's true.
Yeah.
I had somewhere to go. A special place.
Did you go to this special place before you went to the bridge?
Yeah, it's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love.
A memento?
5 years ago, I hid it under the base of a tree there.
Oh, God.
It's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I want to get. This is a bottle on a necklace. This little bottle on a necklace is your memento? Yeah, it's quite charming, but it looks empty.
Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. But he then left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car.
No! Indeed. There certainly was enough time for it.
I've still got a chance. Mr. Fowles, there's no mistaking it. Huh? Mr. Fowles? What the heck's happening? He's coughing up blood. What the hell did you do?
That's enough, please. Witness, I promised her 5 years ago, if it ever happens, that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle.
No! Stop the trial! Your Honor! We need a recess!
I was stupid. Couldn't keep promise. So I did it. I drink this.
No! We're so close! Just a little more! I was gonna prove your innocence!
Oh, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again.
Mr. Falls!
Mr. Armando, thanks for the coffee.
Shit! Mr. Falls! We've got a dead man. And so my first trial ended suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I thought it'd never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. But one person, the true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne, she left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face.
Unforgivable. That witch.
Mr. Armando!
We were so close to the truth. It was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten.
It's my fault! It's my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself!
Don't cry, kitten. You're gonna make my coffee all salty.
I knew it! I knew I wasn't cut out for this!
Mia. Don't you get it? You can't cry yet.
Holy shit! Bandages!
The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
Mr. Armando!
No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time.
Then you file them away and eventually forget them. One year later, in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Yikes! Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect, angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that's made me remember all this. Episode 4, Turnabout Beginnings, the End. Well, that was a quick chapter. Shit. Brand new episode has been added, so Turnabout Beginnings, Bridge to the Turnabout. Wow, okay then. So apparently I was wrong. There are more chapters. Cool, cool. So that's that. Well, once again, we have another Phoenix Wright episode that has stretched on into the 11th hour of the night. And I think we're going to move on to that one sometime later. Snazzy suit, dude! The death of Terry is why the case is so remembered. Yeah. Freaky stuff. Terrifying. Hey, well, I mean, I knew that the court, I knew it was going to end badly, clearly. We had been hinted at that, but I didn't think that literally my defendant was going to kill himself. All right. Great. What a world. Anywho. So I think that'll about do it for this time around. Next time around, we're going to be jumping into episode 5, Bridge to Turnabout. No idea what's going to happen. I'm kind of terrified that somehow Dahlia is going to break out of prison and more horrible chaos is going to happen. So we'll see. All right. Well, yeah, that'll do it. So, I don't know. So I'm a little bit. I'm not super shell-shocked, but that was, really weird. Especially, I'm really shell-shocked that was, a really, really quick chapter. Kind of glad that I didn't leave it off to just, the first part of it, that's for sure. All right. Now, we're going to end it here, and we're going to do it again next week. So, thanks for popping in the chat, everybody who popped in, and especially thanks for the help, because some of that was really frustrating. If you wanted to take a look at this episode anytime after it's done, I'm going to be cutting out a whole lot of the banging my head against a wall trying to figure this stuff out, and I am going to be uploading it to YouTube sometime after that. I saw a couple of people pop in here, here and there. On my view counter, it got up to somewhere around 2 or 3 people, and then a few people just quickly shoveled off. Yeah. Anyways, now that's semantics. People watch, so thanks everybody for popping in. Now I stream on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays, all of them starting at around 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Tomorrow I want to do something kind of chill. So I'm not sure what that's going to be. I might just do a roguelike since I haven't done that in a while. And then we can just talk about current tech events, which there's actually a couple of cool tech events that have recently happened. I guess I could talk about that when I pull that up. And then, what else am I currently playing? Well, on Wednesday, I've just been playing Terraria. There's one thing. And again, more Phoenix Wright. And after this chapter, we're going to have to dive into Apollo Justice, I'm guessing. Well, okay, I forget. When does Apollo Justice come out? Is it conveniently coming out at basically the same time as I'm ending the series? Because that would be very, very nice. We'll see. All right, again, I'm going to move on. So thanks for everybody for coming out. See you next time.